Can you edit like MagnatesMedia on Capcut PC? Well, if you're watching this video, the answer is probably yes. Anyways, in this video, we're gonna learn how to create this scene from one of their recent videos. And this is gonna be a crazy tutorial because there are a lot of gems in the video. So grab some food and coffee and make sure to stick around till the end. As always, all the assets are gonna be down in the description for you guys to download and follow along for completely free. Alright, no more bullshit now, let's get right into it. But obviously, you wanna import all of your assets in first. And for this video, we're gonna break it down into 3 separate segments. And we're gonna work on it one by one. Okay, for the first segment, we have this Donald Trump clip here. You want to drag onto your timeline, obviously. And before adding any effects, we're going to go to the adjustment tab, and then we're going to turn on auto adjust and put it down to around 40%. If you don't have the pro version, it's completely fine too. It's not that necessary. Now you want to scroll down to brightness and just put it down a little bit. In the contrast, you want to put it up a little bit. Now you have something like this. And if you go back to the original video, you can see there's some effects that are applied to it, and we're gonna try and recreate that now. So go to effects, and the first effect that you want to add to it is called Black Flash 2. You want to drag onto your video, and then basically you just want to put everything down a little bit so you can copy my settings here.
TikTok, we may be banning TikTok.
And the other effect that you want to add is called Spark. Same thing. The atmosphere, you want to put it down to around 50 and the speed to around 25 is pretty good. Now you can see all these little sparkles here. It's very subtle, and that's what I want it to be. Okay, and after that, we're gonna create this cinematic effect, which is really simple to do. You want to right click the clip and then create compound clip here, and you want to go back to video, go to mask, then mirror. You just kind of want to play around with it. And for this video, I'm gonna put it at 861, but you can do whatever you want. Moving on to the second scene. Now things are gonna get more interesting. The first scene is like a little practice session. Now we're gonna get into the juicy part. And for the second scene,
TikTok had already been banned in India.
We're gonna create this earth animation here. I'm gonna drag the small earth at the bottom here, and obviously I want to cut out the green screen. Go to chroma key, and then you want to put it up a little bit. It looks pretty good. And I'm gonna put down the scale a little bit, as well as the opacity around like 83, and I'm gonna try my best to recreate the red earth effect. So you want to go to adjustment, and then you want to go to HSL over here and click on orange. You want to put the hue all the way down to -100, and then put up the brightness a little bit to around like 59, 60. What this gonna do is basically turn all the orange color to red color. And now I'm gonna go to color wheel. I'm gonna play around with the tint. I'm gonna put this at -0.85, 0.04, and then 0.03. One thing that I forgot to mention is that you do need the pro version to access the color wheel. So if you don't have the pro version, I think you can sort of replicate it using the color tab here and then the curves here, but I'm just not that good at it. So I'd much rather use the color wheel. So yeah. Now you want to drag the big earth on top of it, and the first thing you want to do is to cut it out, color picker, then remove the green. The scale, you want to put it up to around 120, and then I'm gonna put it to the side first. I'm gonna position it probably somewhere around here, and then we're gonna put down the opacity to around 55. Okay, you want to go to adjustment, go to HSL, and this time you want to go to cyan color here and put the hue at 66 and the saturation at around 15. Go to blue and just copy these settings here. -41. I'm gonna go to color wheel and just tweak the tint. 0.06, 0.27, and 0.45. That's the closest I can get to the color in the original video. Go to mask, horizontal. I kind of want to make that fading effect. So for the rotation, you want to put it at 220. For the feather, put it around 30, and then just play around with it basically. It looks pretty good already, but we're gonna sauce it up with a little bit of blur effect on it. Not hazy. What am I doing? Blur, and then just tune it down to around 12. And you want to copy and paste it now. Control C or Command C, and then Control V or Command V over here. And yeah, you just want to move it around to and trying to position it somewhere like this is pretty good. And before doing anything else, you want to add an effect called mirror. So it's gonna show the better side because it's gonna flip the image. And then you want to go to mask, and we're gonna fix the mask because it's messed up right now. And boom, there we go. We're gonna start animating the earths now. You're gonna go frame by frame to the point where it starts moving. And yeah, we're gonna work on the smaller earth first. You wanna make a position on the scale and the position here. And you also wanna make a keyframe on the opacity as well. And then just kind of frame by frame to somewhere around here. So right here is showing like more zoomed in side of the earth. And I'm gonna put it at around 250. and I kind of tweak the position too because I want this area to show. I'm going to play around with the position. And then I'm also going to put the opacity up to 100. I think this looks pretty good. And yeah, we're going to do the same thing for the big earth. You press this button, so it's going to go back to the first keyframe. And then now you select the big earth. And for this one, you just got to make a keyframe on the scale and the opacity. And then you go back here and then go to the next keyframe. Then you select the big earth. And you can just put the scale up to around 300. You want to completely remove the opacity. And yeah, you just do the same thing for the other big earth too. Before moving on to the last segment, we're gonna work on the India text here, which is really simple. Of course, you wanna go to text, then drag a text onto your timeline, put in India. For the fonts, we're gonna use Montserrat for this one. I'm gonna put down the font size to around 5, and you wanna scroll down and go to shadow. We're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of shadow on it. Okay, I'm gonna position it well. Now you wanna go to the animation tab, and we're gonna use bounce in effects for this one. Put it down to 0.4.
Already being banned in India.
Perfect. And then you want to go back to media and drag the location symbol on top of it. And obviously we're going to remove the black screen first. So go to blend and then screen mode. And now I'm just going to put it down a little bit. Like 3080 is pretty good. And now you should have something like this.
Banned in India.
Last but not least, we're going to work on the third segment, which is this.
Losing them 200 million users overnight.
As you can see, there's a lot of things happening here. Some text, there's some lines here. So we're gonna work on the background first. You wanna drag the Taj Mahal tempo here. And then we're gonna go to adjustment, go to HSL. And for the orange color, you wanna put the hue all the way down to -100. Go back to the red color here. The saturation, you want to turn it up just about a little bit, 5 or 6%. And then brightness, you want to put it all the way down to a 90, to around like 91. After that, you want to go to color wheel, and we're going to play with the tint a little bit. So you can copy these settings if you have the pro version, obviously. 0.58, -0.17, and -0.01. Yeah, I do definitely recommend getting the pro version because this color wheel thing is so good when it comes to like changing the colors. And now you want to go to library, and then you want to drag a black background here. What this does is basically just make everything darker. Go to mode and then hard light, put it down to around 29%. I'm just trying to make it as similar as the original video as possible. And now we're gonna try to do this effect here, like cloud or some ink effect. I don't know what that is, but you want to go back to import section and then drag this free cloud overlay here, cut it, and the first thing you want to do is to put down the opacity by a little bit to around 75 should be good. And then you want to go to mask, and we're gonna use rectangle for this one because you want to mask out the middle section, right? And yeah, you can copy these settings here. -19, the sides we're gonna put it up to 1280 and 449. Put the feather up a little bit, and we're gonna do a little bit around the corners as well, 49 or 50. And this is the most important thing, you need to reverse it, and boom, there you go. Now we're gonna play around with the color to make it as close as possible. So go to basic and put down the temperature about a little bit, somewhere like this, pretty good, and the hue as well. And then same thing, you want to go to color wheel and then go to tint, and then just put down these numbers, I guess. -0.45, -0.17, -0.37, and boom. It's looking pretty good right now, but I still feel like it doesn't look exactly the same as the original video. So we're gonna sauce it up a little bit more by adding the ink here below. You wanna put it below the cloud overlay. Let me enable it. It's already looking way better now. Everything's like more darker and more mysterious. And I'm just gonna put down the opacity a little bit. And that's it for this one. Now we're gonna do the TikTok text here, 200 million users. If you're wondering how to make the TikTok text effect, all you gotta do is to go to canva.com, and then you can sign up for a free account. After that, you wanna click create a design, then logo. First thing you wanna do is to change the background to black color so you can remove it in Capcut easily. Go to text, add a heading, then type whatever you want. 200 million users. You don't gotta change the font size or anything like that, or the font. Now you wanna go to effects, click on glitch, and then there's two colors that you can use. I think this one is the TikTok color. And you just want to play around with the offset to whatever you like. I think something like this pretty good. After this, you just gotta go to file and then click on download, and you're good. You want to drag the text on top of everything, obviously. And yeah, the first thing you want to do is to remove the black background, which is really simple. Go to screen, blend, and then screen, and there you go. And I want to adjust the scale of the text first because it's a little bit too small, as you can see. Just want to make it a little bit bigger. Here's pretty good. You want to position it somewhere like this, I guess. And yeah, we're gonna work on the simple
losing them
sliding up animation here. I'm gonna make a keyframe at the end, which is over here on the position and the opacity. And I'm just gonna go back. Oh my bad. So probably around here. And I'm gonna just basically drag the position, drag it down a little bit, and then put the opacity down to 0.
Using them 200.
And yeah, I want to make it a little bit faster, so right click it, show keyframe animation, and go to Y position here. And you want to highlight the first keyframe and go to ease out 2. Same thing for the opacity over here. First keyframe, then ease out 2. Yeah, it's looking better now. Moving on, we're gonna do the lines animations over here.
Losing them 200 million users night.
Yeah, all you gotta do is to go to text and then drag a text here. Then you're just gonna do a bunch of dashes. So something like this. And go to character, put it down to -4. I'm gonna change the color to this color. You can copy the code here. I'm gonna scroll down to the scale, uncheck uniform scale button. And you wanna put the height to 21. I'm gonna start adjusting the width as well.
Million users overnight.
Okay, something like 74 is pretty good. And before animating it, we're gonna go to glow, and you can just use this one. Yeah, you just want to play around with the settings here, and kind of like this here. And yeah, all you want to do is copy and paste it.
Losing them 200 million users over.
And this one is gonna be our blue line. So for the color, you want to change it to this color. You can copy the code as well. And yeah, we're gonna change the glow as well, maybe a little bit darker. And yeah, we're just gonna drag it on top and line it up. Cool. And all you gotta do is to copy and paste it one more time, and this time you gotta copy and paste both lines. And yeah, I'm gonna disable all of them first, other than the red line, because we're gonna start animating them one by one. Here I'm gonna make a keyframe on the position and the opacity as well. And then I'm gonna go all the way back over here and then just drag it out of frame. Make sure the Y position doesn't change, and drag the opacity all the way to 0. And yeah, I'm just do the same thing for the rest of the lines, and I'm probably gonna fast forward this part because this is basically the same thing. Here, make a keyframe on the opacity position, go back to the first frame, and then I'm gonna copy the position here, paste it on the blue line, boom, drag it to 0.
6 hours later.
Once you're done animating the lines, we're gonna smooth out some of the keyframe animations. So right click, show keyframe animation, and for the red lines here, you just wanna
Losing them 200 million.
And for the blue lines, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. So basically, you wanna highlight the second frame, and then you just wanna press auto curve here. And yeah, you're just gonna do the same thing for the red line. So,
Losing them 200 million.
and then for the blue lines, second frame, and then auto curve. And yeah, now we're gonna do the losing them text here. Drag a text, obviously type it out, losing them. And for the fonts, we're gonna use Montserrat. Make sure it's all caps. I'm gonna put the font size to around 6 and put down the scale as well. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna just a little bit of shadow. As for the animation, we're gonna go to the tab, and then we're gonna use contrast.
Losing them.
Put it 2.4.
Losing them.
Yeah, this is what we have right now. It looks absolutely awesome. But we're gonna do the game cinematic effects for this one too. So you wanna highlight the black background and then the tempo, and make a compound clip here. Go to mask, go to mirror, and then just put 861. Same thing. You wanna make a compound clip with cloud and then the ink below. Create compound clip. Go to mask, mirror, and put 861. Boom.
Looking at
It looks good, I'm not gonna lie. Last but not least, we're gonna add the transition, which is really simple. All you gotta do is to go to transitions, and then we're gonna use the pull-in effect, and then set it to around 0.6. Same thing. And we're gonna sauce it up a little bit more too by adding a filter to it. Go to filters, and we're gonna look up peach fuzz. Drag onto your timeline. You want to apply that to the second and then the third segment. Maybe put it down a little bit. And what this does is basically makes the colors pop out even more to give it a more cinematic vibe.
looking at TikTok, we may be
This is the final result.
looking at TikTok, we may be banning TikTok.
TikTok had already been banned in India, losing them 200 million users overnight.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
100
laggy
million.
towards the end because the computer can't handle all the assets used in this segment. But anyways, this is the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up and join me a sub. and let me know in the comment section what videos or tutorials you want me to do next. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.